Allison here. How do we establish safety for ourselves? Safety used to come from hypervigilance, keeping a careful eye on every situation. Hey, Allison here. How do we establish safety? When we were younger, that safety most likely came from hypervigilance, paying attention to every movement of the face, every possible reaction, trying to predict reactions and trying to know the perfect thing to say in any given situation, how to deliver news, how to say all of the things. Because those circumstances required that. They required us to be paying that much attention because, or at least we felt that it required that. And in most cases, we did because we saw what happened when we weren't trying to predict. We saw what happened when we weren't paying attention. We saw what happened when we weren't always stepping in proactively to help. But now that we're in new situations, we have more autonomy, we have more ability to choose for ourselves. We don't need to be that hypervigilant. That isn't necessary for us to be safe. But our young parts don't know that. They don't realize that. And so part of building safety for ourselves is going back to those young parts, finding out what they need. What do they wish that they had had in those points? And most of the time, I think we'll discover that they wanted someone to defend them, to validate them, to support their boundaries. And they wanted to know what those boundaries were. They wanted support in figuring out what those boundaries were. So, my invitation for you this week is to go back to those young selves and sit with them and go, what is it that you need to hear? What kind of support are you needing? Are you desiring? And then also sit with your current self and going, what boundaries do we need? What's sustainable? What do we want? What do we want this relationship to look like? What do we want our work-life balance to look like? Our work relationships to look like? Neighbors, wards, community. Understand your capacity and your ability and support yourself. Now, if communicating that still feels terrifying to you and you tell everybody else other than the person that you're also actually having the discussions with, that's okay. All we're doing is supporting that young self and building trust so that we can feel safe enough for all the other things that come after. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.